Hello everyone. This is Ziki here, and I hope you're all doing very well. Now, welcome on our series Introduction to China as we continue with a series of videos that we're doing talking about technology in China, talking about construction, just talking general things about China, just as an introductory thing, not really getting into details. Okay, now today we're going to be talking about collective punishment that's used to practice in China. Now, when they're talking about collective punishment, they mean a thing whereby one family member commits a crime and is convicted, then other family members are linked to him. So they also now start to live a restricted kind of life. Now, here's the thing it used to be like when someone, for example, a father commits a crime and is convicted and is sent to prison, the child to that father, the brother, the sister, the mother, the father, all of them, they are put in a database and they're sort of flagged, whereby they might not be able to go to schools where they're supposed to go. They may not be able to buy air tickets or to travel to certain places or to enter certain tourist destinations. Even their social insurance is also affected just because of one family member who would have done something wrong to the community. They believe that if one family member, commits such a crime, which means other people in that family, they might also be bad people. So now people have been petitioning that this is not fair. It doesn't mean that if one person commits something bad, all of us we are bad in that family. Let one person suffer for their own crimes. Let them face their own consequences rather than having a collective punishment for other people who are innocent. Imagine a child is born to a father who is a criminal. The father is convicted and sent to prison. The child is very brilliant at school, and the time for the child to go to university, they qualify to go to a very good university, but they cannot enter that university because the father did something wrong, and this child has to suffer because of the sins of the bad things that the father did. So it wasn't really fair. So what they did is they petitioned, to the relevant authorities, and the standing committee of the National People's Congress of China had to review this, and now they said, well, it has to be abolished. Okay, it has to be abolished. So no more collective punishment of other family members who are innocent of his, things that have been committed, because you cannot help what other people do in your absence, okay? Unless you are part of that syndicate, or unless you have aided them, or unless obstruction of justice, maybe in that case, but not when people commit a lot of things in the absence of family members, and the family members might not even know about it, but they do those things. So why should they be punished because of that? So that is another story that was in China, but now it has been, reviewed and abolished. Okay, now moving forward again to another story that has been trending again on social media is the issue of children, Chinese children. Chinese children are very, very hardworking. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, they can wake up at 8 a.m., go to school. From school, maybe they finish school at 5. From 5 to 5, maybe 5 to 5:30, they're going to a certain place where there's a training center where they have to play music. From 5:30 to 6:30, they're doing English. 6:30 to 7:30, they have to run to be at a certain place, maybe where they're going to be doing dancing, so forth and so forth, each and every time. And then they also have to do homework that is they would have been given from school. So it was just overwhelming for the kids, to the extent that they're saying a lot of Chinese kids are not happy. They are depressed because they don't have time to play. They don't have enough free time. So the government said, well, parents should stop doing this. So they had to ban some private tutors, some private centers that were teaching there to be banned. The parents should not send the children to such centers. They have to be closed. And they also directed the schools to stop giving kids a lot of homework, in order to ease, a little bit on the children, right? Now, recently there's a story that trended on social media where a Chinese kid had to report his parents to the police, say he is tired. They're pushing him to do a lot of homework. So the police had to come to the house and see him with his private tutor. And unfortunately, the private tutor happened to be illegal. Teaching this kid is not even allowed as well. But the police had to tell this kid that no, your parents love you. It's not like they're punishing you and everything. So just to do your best. But also told the parents that don't do this, because the government has already issued a statement that avoid pushing kids too much into a lot of work. Let them relax. And also, still on that issue of relaxing, this, when these kids are going to these private lessons and everything, they go with their parents or their grandparents. So parents as well are also tired. The kids are tired. So if the parents are tired, if everybody is tired, the parents are not having more kids. China needs people to have more kids. Remember, they abolished the one-child policy, so they want kids to be born. However, because parents are busy sending children from one center to another, paying a lot of money, parents are not able to have more kids. So the government is saying, no, that has to stop. Okay. That has to stop. So there are so many things that are happening in China that are very, very interesting. Okay, so many things that are very interesting. But this story of this child here is just that one isolated. I mean, one of many stories that are happening in China. Okay, but then the parents will say, if we are going to listen to what the government is saying, that we should not send our children to private school, to private tutors, we should not let our children do extracurricular activities, then who are they going to become in the competitive society of China? China is very competitive. People are studying. You walk around and find a lot of professors moving around. So they say, well, if we don't do that for our kids, then they will not be very competitive in the market, in the competitive, life of China. So they say, well, in as much as the government says don't do this, they will still go to underground training centers, underground, classes, underground tutors to teach their kids as well. So they will not even listen to what, the government will be saying, like, stop sending kids to do this, let them relax. And the parents are saying, well, as a parent or by myself, I will send my child to a private school. I will pay for my child to do extra lessons because I want my child to have that education to be competitive. This particular kid I was talking about, they said he was number 8 in his class, 25 in his grade. It's not really bad, but to some parents, it's very, very bad. The parents said, why can't you be number 1, number 2, number 3? Why do you have to be number 8 and number 25? You need extra lessons. So the child was tired. So the child had to go and report to the police that my parents are pushing me too much. I am tired. For real, I am tired. I don't have time to play video games. Chinese kids, they love video games. I mean, which child doesn't like video games, right? So they say, like, they are tired. Anyway, so these are the 2 stories that I wanted to share with you. But of course, I'm going to be coming back again with another video that I did about the public transport in China, particularly buses. That video will be uploading a little bit later. But for now, let me know what do you think about collective punishment, okay? And also our children back home. I know that as a kid at school, I'll just go to school. As soon as I come back home, I throw my bag away. I start running around. I don't do music, piano, dancing, all this, a lot of work. No, from there I go to play and come back on, continuously like that. Our kids, they're not very, very hardworking, as they are succeeding in their own way because every culture has got its own different ways of doing this. But Chinese children, you wouldn't understand. You wouldn't understand. Anyway, this is all I have for you right now. And until I come back again with another China story, please subscribe and stay so that you don't miss this and more. I will continuously be giving you all these stories until first YouTube can recognize our niche. Until then, take care.